Testing this live. We are testing, 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 testing. Because I know. Okay, that looks good. I'm not gonna lie, that looks a little bit better than it used to. Oh man, let me get some water. Something though. Hmm. It is it a bitrate issue? Huh. Because it looked a little. Yeah, it gets a little glitchy. I wonder why. Okay, you can ask me any question. I'm just working on quick and getting this kind of set up all good. Um, as well as I'm figuring things out as we go too. Um, looking at bit rates, speeds. Hmm, it's interesting. If you have any questions, please let me see them. I'm still just figuring out the bit rate and video size, quality, all that. It looks like it's pretty good. I just don't understand why it goes all matrixy randomly. But we can talk about anything that you might be, anything you're working on with your current dog. Talk about shaping by successive, successful, successive. Is that even a word? Hmm. Shaping by successful approximations. We're gonna really, shaping takes advantage of operant conditioning, where you can reinforce any response that in some way resembles the end behavior, your end goal. You reinforce the response that closely approximates the end goal, the end behavior, and then you no longer reinforce the previous reinforced response. Usually, you want to reinforce a response that resembles the end behavior even more closely. So you're just slowly, incrementally getting up and closer to your end goal. It could be a sit even. It could be a sit. Uh, Continue reinforcing closer and closer approximations to the end behavior, uh, and then we'll only reinforce the end behavior. So that's how you go through the shaping. It's like somewhat close or resembles the end behavior, and then it gets closer, 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 and then it's the end behavior, and that's all you're reinforcing. And the worst case scenario when it comes to shaping is just a huge lack of motivation or understanding of what's going on. So usually the dog just stays in place, doesn't explore, doesn't allow for any progression towards the end behavior. Shaping, usually in my book, is going to be used for things that can't be classically conditioned, and it's going to take a long time to get to. There's definitely some advantages and disadvantages to shaping. Some advantages could be it's the only option. See right there, it just glitched out. I don't know why that does that, but I want my live streams to be amazing too, or easy. It could be the only option when teaching a new complex behavior that almost has zero probability of actually occurring naturally in their final form. Definitely a positive approach to training. Like teaching a dog a handstand, they might be really hard for them to ever do that naturally in nature. Um, First thought that comes to my mind is maybe walking across trees or sticks or something, and it falls down. Their front feet goes down, and while their back feet stay up, somewhat close to that end behavior, but usually with a little complex behavior, right? Disadvantages, it can be extremely time consuming, and progress may be erratic and not look as linear as you want. And it does require great timing and a skillful trainer who can actually recognize those little subtle, closer approximations. It definitely can be misapplied for sure, especially when utilizing or helping problem or harmful behaviors, and they can kind of actually get shaped and start get rewarded too. Sometimes with shaping, I mean, you really don't want to prompt or help them out, but if they're really chilling and just the repertoire is weak and they're a little bit more, we might have to, right? We might have to utilize some prompting to make some actual progress towards that end goal, right? We do have auto shaping, which is like, I mean, it's sign tracking. Sign tracking is auto shaping. Um, it is a problem for learning theory. It only occurs as follows: an animal, pigeon, is conditioned by turning on a stimulus, a light and key, and then giving it a reinforcer, food, right? The bird pecks at the key, and then the food is delivered. So it actually just starts pecking all the time because the bird is conditioned himself and might not even be on the key anymore. It just starts doing it more and more because pecking gets it is a natural reinforcing genetic. So why did it start picking? I mean, that's honestly the problem with auto shaping. It's easy to explain why it continues, but no satisfactory explanation for why it starts, really. Um, and auto shaping is not operant conditioning. We do have to be creative in some teaching, and we should utilize some shaping exercises with our dogs to help build some intent, as well as build on the learner's instincts and innate tendencies with the dog, naturally how they go about learning and that process. And this method of teaching and training encourages creative learning. the ability to solve unexpected problems through spontaneous trial and error, uh, guided by accumulated experience and judgment. It's open ended. It's really fun what you can do. Maturity does matter somewhat. Um, where they are developed to a certain age could definitely help with the shaping or understanding, getting into that work window of utilizing shaping. With I mean, we can go into some more reinforcers, I suppose, and not just um, approaches to training, right? Um, as you have the shaping, and then you have you have the operant, and then you have the classical conditioning, pretty much. So you have the shaping, where the dog does the action and learns based on our good or bad consequence, and then they learn to give and go with that, and then operant. No, for classical conditioning is just us cueing them into it, then helping them through it, get into that end behavior. They can start beating our help, and then they'll just be on cue to get to that end behavior. But a little bit more background into that is we have to understand some laws and some genetics and natural laws even. The most fundamental one, even a one cell organism is going to understand, and most fundamental law of nature is approach something good and avoid something bad. And we'll definitely utilize that motivation in our dog as well. We have to understand motivation and reward in learning. Drive theory is a good spot to start, and it's based on the principle that organisms are born with certain psychological needs, and that a negative state of tension is created when these needs aren't satisfied. And when need is satisfied, the drive is reduced, and then the organism returns to a more relaxed state. It's normally talked about primary reinforcers when creating motivation. What is a primary reinforcer? Sometimes also known as an unconditioned reinforcer. It is a stimulus that does not require pairing with a different stimulus in order to function through the evolution in its role in species survival. There are many stimuli that can potentially function as a primary reinforcer. We have social interaction, we have play, we have sex, food, avoiding aversion, water. I mean, and if I had to list them in an order of importance, I would most likely do avoiding aversion, sex, but you can't really use it for training. Uh, with importance to the body and everything else, food and then play most likely, but when all needs are met, we all want to play. So we meet their needs, and then we utilize avoiding aversion and play as our lifelong ensuring behaviors and safety. Petting is even a primary reinforcer. We're giving them love. Petting, we can use it. Doesn't need to be pet, 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 here's a treat, pet, 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 here's a toy, pet, 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 zoomies. Petting is a primary reinforcer. Without anything else, it feels good. It feels good. Um, there's usually a lot of misconceptions with the misinterpretation of a primary and a secondary reinforcer. Um, Typically, primary reinforcer as those stimuli um, that are essential for basic survival. Um, rather than actually classifying a stimuli as secondary reinforcer based on whether they were previously neutral. If they take on reinforcing properties of the stimulus with which they were paired, or lose their effectiveness if the pairing is discontinued, many training seamlessly classifies secondary reinforcers based on whether they are subjectively, what was that charge? Deemed to be essential for survival or not. They then establish stimuli judged to be non-essential as secondary reinforcers by explicit pairing procedure. Play, treat, touch, treat, praise, treat. An RDT trainer, play is used as a primary reinforcer from the outset, provided that the training is familiar with the types of play opportunities that are reinforcing to that particular dog. So, we're going to use play from the foremost first as our primary reinforcer. It doesn't need food, doesn't need anything else paired with it. Food, play, treat, play, treat. That would make it a secondary. It's a primary on its own. For any other trainer, they're typically conditioning before the use or during formal training. Like I said earlier, most other trainers are going to throw the ball, they bring it back, here's a treat. Or throw a ball, they grab it, pick it up, drop it, here's a treat. Play, treat, play, treat, play, treat. Gameplay and social play reliably reinforce behavior without this explicit pairing procedure. So playing with us or with others socially or within tug or fetch don't need pairing procedure. Scientific studies have found that primary and secondary reinforcers are actually processed in different parts of the brain and through distinct neural mechanisms. Moreover, even more, different primary reinforcers, food, play, sex, avoid aversion, are also processed in different parts of the brain. Usually, we want to hit play and avoid aversion or getting that reward trigger system going. That's what we want. That's what we love. Functions of play. We need it to be introduced not as a secondary but primary reinforcer. Dogs will rather play than eat. So will we. I know multiple kids, whether you're gaming or playing a musician or sport, gaming, musician, sport, any type of play that you're doing, you can get so involved into it that you don't want to stop at all. For your husband, wife, daughters, son, food, going to the bathroom, you're just going to continue playing. It's that strong. So we have to, especially when needs are met, we are born to play. Animals are born to play. We just got to find some agreements to have a lot of fun and do it together. Play and food, they're activated in different parts, like we just said, of the brain. And dogs, all species, are biologically programmed to think and respond differently when presented with them. So when presented with a toy versus food, it's going to be processed and seem different in their minds, in their brains. Very, very cool. If we deprive a kid or a dog of play when they're young, they're going to develop issues because of it. They're going to lack social skills and cooperation. And that's so sad. So we have to play with our pups right away. Not right away, but playing with our pups is going to be that priority that we do need to have. If we're not playing with them once a day, we better step up into it. because every dog knows how to chase a ball, because they would normally chase and catch food. Play is going to be everything else in this. Games are really critical for that cognitive development, especially important for puppies, because it can stimulate social interactions, which is a natural evolution towards higher level of communication and interaction with other species like dogs and humans, or interspecies like dogs and dogs, or pretty powerful. Not only are games playing everything, they're going to create that cooperation, that trust, that agreement. And of course, we're going to have to both, it's a game, so it's forcing both players to follow the rules, to create those agreements of compliancy, impulse control, as well as being able to step out and be a ref and to deliver penalties too, so that the whole game is holistically understood and played nicely, respectfully. As games can definitely help with that level of hierarchy, that level of control that is needed with such a natural piece of dog nature that utilizes their big old fun mouse to tell you to fuck off. We have to, I mean, plays can help us without any risk of serious injury or conflict or a lot of fighting, right? We can utilize play just to get that sweet level of control and hierarchy that is needed, so we can ensure their safety and have fun elsewhere and everywhere, even in play too. I mean, let's get down into nitty gritty. Even like, sex is probably the most important primary reinforcer continuing the species, right? However, and there's been some great dog trainers who show this off, when we are addicted and we love to play, when given the opportunity, play outweighs, it's really the strength of play and the relationship outweighs that of, let me go procreate with this other animal, other dog, right? I guess we're really just getting into some playing. I was just working on just making sure the stream is looking good, but hey, we can always talk about some playing. Play is very important, and I want people to know more about it. So let's get into a little bit games versus activities, because we're still talking about play, and there is a difference between the two. And if we don't understand the difference, we are most likely missing a great opportunity at hand. A game has an objective. It has rules. An activity, it doesn't really have either of those. And with a game, we have to keep the objective, the outcome, unknown, unpredictable. The second it becomes obvious, the game is going to become boring. And we want it to be fun and exciting to be interacting with us, fetching or tugging, or some new game that we created some agreements and rules around and played with our own dogs. Herding games, exactly. Agility, even. Dancing, because there's competitive dancing. You need to be really playful and communicative with your dog to really nail those positions and teach it as well. So we have to keep the outcome not obvious so the game doesn't become boring. And you do have two types of games. You have cooperative and competitive. In competition games, we really need to have that outcome be unknown, right? In cooperative, it's going to be a little bit more known, right? Like fetch. You're chasing, which is a lot of fun. You're catching the ball, squeezing, consuming, coming all the way back, maybe bringing it to me. A little bit more known pattern. ouch, you dropped the ball in my hand. Yes, throw it again. Sorry, my meal's popping off. Um, we definitely need to explain the game first. Um, and it's as trainers to clients or trainers to trainers, trainers to owners. We need to explain the game first, as it is harder than teaching basic obedience. And once we have an owner crushing and loving to play with their dog, the obedience, everything's going to come super quickly, super easily for them. Play is real training. It's extremely real training. You do everything: impulse control, markers, communication, punishment, boundaries, etc. Everything. It's real training. So you can get real training in just in 15, 20, 30 minutes in the backyard or the front yard playing with your dog on a long line. It's very powerful. Um, Possession game, tug, it is a competitive game where who meets the objective is going to be winning, right? And we need to equally want to win the toy slash the objective. And obviously, cooperation is needed to match intensity. If it's not, and you're too overpowering, you're gonna probably make the dog shut down and not want to play. If you're too light, the dog might win it and be like, "Man, this person sucks." They're not that competitive. They're not that playful. We have to match the intensity so it can stay really fun. While now fetch, the chasing and catching, it's going to be more cooperative, not competitive. We want to allow the dog to make the objective chase and catch and bring it back, right? So we might be able to bounce it, throw it, and hit it in grass. The objective, though, is to chase it, catch it, bring it back. We're working toward the same objective more likely, which is repeating that game. And we don't want to look for behaviors right now when we're teaching these games either. We really just want to focus on that full understanding, holistic of the game, do's and don'ts, and then bam, we are crushing it. I'm going to crush some lunch, and I still have to figure out this bit rate or whatever's going on with the live stream too. But just real quickly, want to tell you some benefits again reinstate some benefits of the game. They're critical for cognitive development, especially for puppies. If you're not doing it with your puppies, what are you doing? They're going to be digging, barking, lunging, nipping, destructive, way more. So definitely do this. It stimulates social interaction towards the natural evolution of higher communication and interaction with other species, with like humans, as well as other animals like to play too. So they'll be able to bridge those gaps and play with different species, which is amazing. Being curious, respectful, to then be able to bridge that playfulness together. Creates that cooperation, that trust, plenty of agreements, and it forces the players to follow by the rules. So we're in compliancy, we're working on impulse control, and then we're obviously going to be there to give them the yellow cards, give them the red cards, depending on their actions and behaviors during the game. We're really teaching those penalties too. It can help us with that little hierarchy, low level control, so without serious risk or injury too, which is amazing. We just want to have fun and then slowly show the dogs how to be a little bit more contextually appropriate with all their big behaviors or genetics. So that's kind of just a little quick run on. I mean, we did a lot of understanding of, of functions of play, the games themselves, primary reinforcers, understanding motivation, natural laws. We talked about the two main approaches to training, which is going to be shaping, and we talked a lot about what shaping and operant conditioning and classical conditioning. We talked a lot about successful approximations, the advantages, disadvantages, having to utilize prompting, the also understanding of sign tracking, the auto shaping when we are playing, where these other behaviors might just start showing up more and more often. And we can utilize shaping for more creative teachings or harder behaviors that we might have to successfully, approximately get there. So, hope you guys liked all of this. Any questions, comments, concerns, please leave them in the comment section below. I'm going to end the stream now and allow it be probably up for now. I might change it. I still see it glitching out, so I'm gonna do some more testing, figure out how to better the stream quality, and make sure it's not just randomly goes matrix glitchy. So working on that. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed this quick, nonchalant, impromptu figuring out the quality and everything of the streams. I appreciate you guys. Get out there, have some fun, play with your pup today. If you haven't, if you have, amazing. Get to some fun play sessions the next day then. Enjoy your pups, live sustainably, and let's have a good rest of our week. Enjoy your weekend too.